Light is often taken for granted. Something passive, something that simply allows us to see. But in art, light is not secondary, it is a material. In this video, we look at how artists have worked with light. In their hands, it becomes something that can be shaped. Seen this way, light is no longer just illumination. It becomes something else entirely. It becomes part of the work itself. Before we understand what we are looking at, we are already following the light. Every image has an underlying structure, whether we notice it or not. Some elements come forward, others fade. Light is what decides this. The eye is not neutral, it moves toward contrast, toward brightness, toward whatever stands out. Artists have always known this. By controlling light, they control attention. In the work of Caravaggio and Rembrandt, light does not simply illuminate scenes, it constructs them. Through precise control of highlights and shadow, they create the illusion of physical form. Objects and figures seem to emerge from the canvas with a sense of weight and presence. Light becomes the director. Before a story is understood, before emotion takes shape, the eye has already been guided. The same thing happens today, in photography, in cinema, on screens. Light remains the invisible structure that holds every image together. Once light has structured what we see, it begins to shape how we feel. Light does not only reveal surfaces, it creates atmosphere. Soft light can make a space feel quiet and contained. Harsh light can introduce tension or distance. Nothing about this is accidental. In the work of Johannes Vermeer, daylight enters through windows and settles gently across walls and fabric. The effect is stillness, a sense of focus, a feeling of calm. In contrast, Edward Hopper often uses light to create separation rather than comfort. Figures sit in brightness but feel cut off from the spaces around them. Light isolates as much as it reveals. The subject may be simple, a room, a street, a face. But under different light, the same scene becomes something else entirely. Before we name an emotion, before we interpret a story, light has already set the tone. It works quietly and with precision. Light is never still. It moves with the hour, the season, and the weather. And because of this, light becomes one of the clearest ways artists suggest time. The scene may remain the same, light does not. A low sun stretches shadows. Morning light feels fragile. Late afternoon light carries weight. Some artists made this their subject. For instance, Claude Monet returned again and again to the same scenes, not to repeat them, but to record how they changed. Water in morning haze, bridges at sunset, cathedrals in sunlight. The forms became simpler, details fell away. In each painting, time was recorded in colour and air, in atmosphere rather than in form. Joseph Mallord William Turner pushed this even further. Forms begin to dissolve in brightness, edges soften, figures blur. In Turner's work, light no longer sits on the surface of things, it moves through them. Weather becomes force, sky becomes motion, landscape becomes feeling. What remains is atmosphere, movement, and time itself. Light does not simply show when something is happening. It becomes how time is felt. Beyond structure, atmosphere, and time, light also carries meaning. Across cultures and history, artists have used light to suggest what cannot be shown directly. In religious painting, brightness often signals the divine. Light separates sacred figures from the world around them. It gives form to something unseen. In political imagery, light can imply power or authority. A face placed in brightness appears elevated. Presence becomes importance. In portraiture, light shapes how a person is read. It can suggest certainty, dignity, or strength. A single highlight can change how a face is understood. In art, light is always a decision. Illumination can suggest presence. Shadow can suggest absence. What is revealed feels important. What is concealed feels secondary. Light does more than shape what we see. It shapes what we believe about what we see. Light becomes a visual language, one that speaks without words. In contemporary art, light has undergone a quiet transformation. It is no longer only something that appears in an image. It has become an artistic medium, a subject in itself, and in many cases, an environment. With the arrival of electricity and modern lighting, artists began to work with light as their primary material, the same way a sculptor works with stone or a painter with pigment. For instance, Dan Flavin used ordinary fluorescent tubes as sculpture. The object was not just the fixture, but the coloured glow it released into the space. Light altered the room. The architecture shifted. The work extended beyond itself. Some artists treated light as experience rather than object. In the work of James Turrell, rooms are built from colour and glow. Walls appear to dissolve, space loosens its edges. Light is carefully shaped until it feels solid. The work is not about objects, it is about perception. Others began to use light not to shape space, but to carry language. Jenny Holzer and Tracy Emin use neon signs to display text. Light turns language into presence. Messages become public, urgent, and impossible to ignore. Then light moves beyond language. Olafur Eliasson carries this idea into the natural world. He creates environments from mist, reflection, and brightness. The artwork is not meant to be viewed from a distance. It is meant to be entered. In the Weather Project, artificial sunlight and fog filled a vast hall. Visitors stood inside an invented sky. The atmosphere itself became the work. Here, light does not reveal form, it replaces it. Light is no longer inside the artwork, it is the artwork. Light may be easy to overlook, but it guides what we notice, it shapes what we feel, it colours how time is remembered. Across paintings, photography, and installation, light continues to move between structure and emotion, between visibility and meaning. Because of this, light remains one of the most powerful materials we have. What about you? How has light shaped the way you notice the world? Has any artwork ever changed the way you see light? I'd love to hear your thoughts.